Bam! I'm first. Hello everybody, welcome back to the shop. Scared you, didn't I? For this tank molded action pack day, I got my fuel cell already start molded on, and guess what? Guys, I'm gonna tell you this is attempt number 4. You guys ain't gonna believe what I did. Oh, remember this? I took it off that mold the other day. It's too tall. I went to put it in all these jet and it don't fit. I don't know what I had in my head. That first mold over there is 3 inches tall. It fit perfect. You know, I pulled one off of there, but I kind of tore it up getting it off because the sides were vertical. So well, I'm gonna make a new one. Made that original plug 4 inches. That's how thick the ring was. So I had to cut it down. You guys ain't gonna guess how I had to do it. I had to cut 1 inch off the bottom of it. Oh man, how am I gonna do this? You know, it wouldn't stand up and put through the saw. You know what I did? I cut it right down the middle there. Bam. Then I took each half and I stood it up. Made me a little fence on my saw. Yeah, first I had to get the wood off. I took my chisel around the edges. Then I stood it up and cut 1 inch off of each one. Glued it back together. And now it's the right height. I got it all primed up yesterday. Got her waxed this morning. That one is smooth, man. I clear coated my primer. I sanded it with 400, and then I put some clear coat on it. That dude is smooth. I'm hoping they pop right off. But I've been working on this tank too, and I got it smooth. I didn't clear coat it, but I finished sanding it with 1500 grit. It's smooth. Smooth. Well, I'm waiting for that black to dry. Oh, someone asked me if that was black primer. And no, that's regular black paint. That's that glass coat. Black epoxy. But you can use anything. Dude, you can use spray paint. You know. But this is my stuff I get from Associated. This is the first thing I do on my molds. This is a surface coat, AS 2003-1 white resin. It's part of their epoxy surface coat system. Part of their molding system. This is nice stuff. It has a really high crush strength, and that's what you got to look for in surface coat. That keeps your edges from chipping. You know, regular epoxy has a pretty high crush strength, but then you start adding fillers and stuff, and that takes it away. And that's what a lot of surface coats do. And you know, that aluminum filled stuff, what that does is it gives it back its crush strength. And that aluminum filled stuff is nice, but it's expensive. You can pile it on a 1/4 inch thick without no glass, and your corners won't chip. This, I found it was better to put these coats on thin, man, and don't really build it up in the corners. And then start with light fiberglass. I'm going to put this on. I'm going to let it set up 2 to 3 hours. Then I'm going to start in with my 3/4 ounce cloth in these corners. Okay, all the way around. I'm going to put 3/4 ounce, and then then I can just keep going. Then put my 6 ounce on. I'll put the 6 ounce over the whole thing. Couple 3 layers of 10 ounce. and it's done. But once you start putting cloth on, you can just go. You don't have to wait in between coats. You can take breaks after you get, you know, a layer on. You can take your break. There's no big hurry, but you don't have to wait for it to get tacky. Now I want to send, what I'm thinking about doing is making 2 molds. When, you know, when I get both halves done, when I take that first half off, just leave the other half in there and go ahead and make a second piece. Because I want to send one to Jet Tech. And he's going to make Kevlar fuel cells. I've already talked to him. It's all set up. I called him again here about a week ago. Asked him where he wanted his seam, and he's going to make Kevlar fuel cells. So anybody that has a Thunder Chiefs, all they got to do is call Jet Tech, and he'll make Kevlar cells, baby. Because I really don't want to mess with Kevlar. I've never worked with it. I heard it's really hard to cut. They sell it down there at Associated, but I got so much stuff to do. So another reason for putting this stuff on real thin in these corners, you don't have no air bubbles. When you're trying to gob it in there, you always end up with little air bubbles, you know. This way you don't have any. And my corners come out just perfect. Just, you'll cut yourself on them. They come out so good. Rub your fingers on them, you'll cut yourself. But I talked to Jet Tech. He told me exactly how he wanted this. The sides, whoa, look on it, put my arm right in it. The sides got to be a little rounded, you know, on these sides here, all the way around. That's so the parts come out of the mold. And then he told me, I sent him some pictures of the plug and told me where he'd like the seam, and these are big tanks. These are a lot bigger than the ones in Ollie's. But they take up more room too, so you got to kind of build around them. There, Joe. Because Ollie's, you know, these come out farther than Ollie's, a couple 3 inches, and I got Ollie's stuff kind of pushed back there. And you just have to bring your stuff a little farther forward, closer to the CG anyway. Not a big deal. There's room. Especially if you put the tanks in first. I'm even thinking about making a tank that goes on top of these, right in the top of that fuselage, you know. There's a pretty good area, Joe, where I can stuff some more fuel in that fuselage. Be more tanks to buy, but it might be the thing to do. Alright. And this pan would be good for someone else, because that's just where I got all these shelves. This hits the shelf. It hits the top of its power box. Just to lower that a little bit, it would work in another Thunder Chief. So it's not scrap. Look how hard that turned out down there. But you know, I used some 10 ounce on it, but I figured, man, we got to put lead up there anyway. I'll just, you know, so it really don't matter what this weighs. We'll just be able to, I'll just, once we get the cockpit all done, installed, I'll re-CG it. Because I'll probably have to take some of that lead out, but so, it really don't matter what it weighs. Came out nice though. That's a nice tub right there. Nice. I like it. It's too deep for all these. But